there's a position in the company. There's only a limited number of there's I won't say there's an infinite number of district manager possibilities or branch manager possibilities, but there's a lot. We can have hundreds and hundreds. But each division has one spot for something called a DOM, okay, Division Office Manager. It's a super important position because NJ Yazan has filled that position in the past for 3 years. But it's the person that runs the pilot office, and the pilot office on all the reports, most of the reports, the division manager, my name is on that, okay? But I don't do most of the work. And right now it happens to be my daughter, Madison, okay, who is the DOM. Generally speaking, I've had DOMs, some of you guys know Micah Cardo, Leslie Buckingham. These are people who have, some legendary legacies in the business, NJ, of course. And they get paid as overrides off of the office, but there's also a lot of little bonuses and extra things that go along with being a DOM. Well, we were in a weird year this year, being it's COVID, and my DOM, not very often does the DOM live with the division manager, okay, but Madison lives in the same house. So I really didn't implement a lot of the bonuses that we normally do, but I just thought it wasn't really very fair. So Madison, you probably didn't know that this was happening, but anyway, I've got a check for Madison, accumulated bonuses. This is a check, if you can see this, is for $5,486.50, just some little extra bonus money for the DOM that normally DOMs would have got paid that anyway. And since we have a call tomorrow morning with an investment person to help Madison buy her first rental property, this probably can help out with regards to that. So there you go. Now, with that said, the pressure is on to deliver us a fantastic training message. Madison's going to talk about the skill of the phone, okay? And of course, you can work really hard doing great demos and you can get lots of great recommendations, but if you can't make a good connection on the phone and schedule those appointments in a timely manner, you can't really make the kind of money that this job should be paying you. So Madison is going to take a few minutes to talk about some tips on the phone. She's one of our best people on the phone. I've got a chance to hear her make calls literally for hours at a time, and she's pretty good at it. So ladies and gentlemen, Miss Madison Britton on some phone skills. See ya.
All right. Oh, can't really see it because of the background. Okay, cool. Hey, you guys, good to see each and every one of you 126 beautiful people. So we're just going to jump right into the phone training. And I was one of those people in the beginning that was not the biggest fan of phone time. It's not that I wasn't good at it. It's not that I wasn't scared. I just was scared. I just didn't feel like dialing the phone, but I, ignored that and did it anyway. I was able to do a 10K fast start. I've had 7 10K pushes. I've had a 17K push. So I do a lot of phones. I do a lot of phone time because that is how you keep your business going. So I'm just going to go with the basics. It's not going to be anything like mind blowing. This is just some things that are really going to help you guys hone in on that phone time skills. So first thing I want you guys to write down, make sure you guys have your notes, have a fresh pen. Phone time is fun. Phone time is fun. And like I said, I didn't believe that when I first started, but I did it anyway, and I really did learn to love it. So think about this. What about in 25 minutes, you set 5 appointments? Wouldn't that be fun? 25 minutes, 5 appointments, that's 1 appointment every 5 minutes. That'd be pretty spicy. On the other hand, let's say someone does phone time for 2 hours and they only set 2 appointments. Not as fun, but you're still getting some demos. So being good at the phone time can single-handedly triple your business. There is a skill to doing phone time. Not everyone does it well at the very beginning. I was definitely by no means perfect at the beginning, but I learned it because I did it a lot. So number 1 key, do a ton of phone time. Simple as that. So let's just say after this, you set 3 demos tomorrow. And then on each of those demos, you get 5 recommendations. That's 15 fresh leads. And let's say you set 5 from those 15, and then that's another 25 leads because each person gives you another 5 as long as you're reading the script. But that's about introductions. Let's hop into the phones. So let's set up your phone time the right way. Before we get into the approach, here are some tips to help maximize your phone time. Now, you can start doing this now. I know a lot of you do this already, but some of you newer people may not know to do this, which is fine. This is why we're doing this. So spend 2 minutes after the demo qualifying those introductions. Don't just ask for anyone. They may give you, a 25-year-old, or they may give you their cousin that doesn't have a job. You got to really focus on those qualified introductions. So after you get those introductions, spend a couple of minutes getting to know more about them. Let's say, here's a couple of questions, you guys, that you can ask your customers about the introductions that they give you. So I'm going to go through these slowly so you guys can write each of these down. So who is home during the day? There's one question. Who is home during the day? Or who is home during the evening? So let's say someone works during the day and they're only at home after dinner, after they finish, cleaning up the kitchen. So who is home during the day? Who is home during the evening? So basically this question is, what is the best time to call them? And they may not know, but they may know. So you might as well ask because there's nothing to lose. When are they most available? When are they most available? So if they have kids sports, if they have a dance performance, if they have a cooking class, whatever it is, you just have to get to know them so you know exactly when to call them so your phone time is more effective. So always find the best time to call them. And this one doesn't matter as much since we're doing it virtually, but what area do they live in? And be as specific as possible, because you never know. Someone might be out of state. Let's say they're in Texas and you're doing phone time at 8 o'clock, then it's 10 o'clock their time and they're most likely asleep. So make sure to find that exact state of where they're in to make sure that the time zone is, the time zone. So what area do they live in? Be as specific as possible. Now, are all of these married? So let's say if they got to be CSWs, so if they're married, you guys have learned that. So yeah, if they're married, so you got to know and then ask for their spouse's name as well, because you never know. Their spouse might pick up the phone and you can't be like, is this Stacy's husband? And they're like, oh, who's this? So you got to know the spouse's name too, just in case they answer the phone. And also, this is a money question. I got some really, really good introductions from this. All right. You guys ready? All right, let's go. If you were me, Mrs. Jones, and you were in this big contest, who would you call first? If you were me and you were in this big contest, who would you call first? And then you would just get them to star you would star their top three, top five, depending on how many they give you. So if you were me and you were in this big contest, who would you call first? And we're in a big contest right now, you guys. Let's all go to Cabo. I'm excited. I'm going to go to Cabo. I'm telling you guys this now. I will figure out a way to get to Cabo because those trips are super fun. And I hope to see you guys all there too. All right. So if you were me and you were in this big contest, who would you call first? And they're like, oh, definitely this person. Oh yeah, definitely this person because this one cooks a ton. And you get to know more about them. Also, this is also in your script. Give them a quick text so it won't be a surprise when I call. And even on the website, it gives you that sample text of what they can send to make it super easy for them rather than them trying to make something up. So every single thing is super simple, super laid out for them. You just have to be the one to implement it. So Mrs. Jones, if you could please give them a quick text so it won't be a surprise when I call. Here's the sample text. You text it to them, and then Mrs. Jones texts it to their friends. Makes it really, really worthwhile. The more you know about them, the easier it makes your phone time. You want to feel like you're calling an old friend, not calling someone a complete stranger like telemarketers do. So always get to know more about them so it feels genuine whenever you're giving them a call. All right, so that is about qualifying those introductions. So here is the next step. Here's some organization tips. So spend 5 minutes organizing your introductions before you get on the phone. Circle your best 5 or circle your best 10. 5 or 10 or more. You can do as many as you guys want, but at least do a minimum number of 5 so you at least can do a small phone jam. Anything less than 5, not a phone jam. So always circle your best 5, 10, 15, 20, however many introductions you have. Get water because you're always going to need to be hydrated. When you're making those calls for a big contest, you need water so you don't sound like you smoke 6 packs a day while you're calling Mrs. Jones for a presentation. So always have your water. Also have your schedule. I'll show you guys my schedule from last week. All right. So not last week, about 2 weeks ago. So this was the beginning of December, end of November. I don't know if you guys can see this. Hold on. Okay, so right here, kind of. So you can see all of these stars right here. These are where all of my appointments were. So I did about an hour's worth of phone time, and I set up 15 appointments in an hour, you guys. So it's always really good to learn these tools so you can have effective phone time. So always have your schedule laid out with a star or a money sign next to every 90 minutes or every 2 hours, depending on how long your demos take. So always put a star at 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, so on and so forth, depending on when your demo times are. All right. And also do phone time with other people. That's why it is super important to go to the phone jams. We have 4 a week. So if you can't go to all 4, because you have finals or you have family get-togethers, that's okay. Just commit to 1, 2, 3, or 4, depending on how much of a baller you guys want to be. So the phone jams are fun. We listen to music. You get recognition. Sometimes we give out prizes. Tomorrow we're having a Christmas costume contest tomorrow on the phone jam. That's going to be super spicy. I definitely want to be there for sure. So definitely attend the phone jams because it's super fun to be with, 20, 30, 40 people doing phone time all together, and let them beat you up a little. Have a little fun competition. Let's say let's pin up Katie Barnett versus Toasty J, and let's see whoever can make the most appointments. The other person Venmos them $5. Make a friendly competition, whatever you guys want to do. If you think you are good, do it in front of somebody who isn't good as you. So some people, you guys have been here longer. Some of people have been here less time. I know some people that are crushing it that just started a couple of days ago, and some people that started in June that are still crushing it. So just always, if you are good, do it in front of somebody who isn't good as you. So you guys can bounce off each other, learn from each other, and then you guys can both build each other up. So you should always do phone time with a friend. All right. And here's going into the approach. Eliminate wimpy words, because there are no wimpy words in the script. Not saying, do you think I could see you over Zoom at maybe 3 or maybe 5? We don't have any of those wimpy words in the script. Maybe 4 o'clock or maybe 6. I was wondering. If you're using wimpy or nervous words, you're going to make your customers nervous and hesitant to do an appointment with you. So just read the script word for word. The phone approach is one of the most important things, to be right on it word for word. Really. I mean, I've been doing this for 4.5 years. I know what I'm talking about. It's really, really important for you guys to read it word for word. And some of you guys might think you're better than the script. You're not. Scripts are for the pros. We still have the best people like Hans Hilton, Michael Amaster, Ron Geronimo, Anthony Hayes, Toasty J, Stuart Nadeau, NJ. We have everyone who does well, who crushes at this job. They all read the script, all of them. So you should do the same, because scripts are for the pros. Now, the phrasing is very important in that phone script. So you guys really, really do have to follow that approach. Always offer 2 times. Always offer 2 times, because it gives them more flexibility. So whether it's Saturday at 2 p.m. or Sunday at 3, even they're on 2 separate days, that still gives them the option of 2 choices. So you always have to give 2 times, because it gives them options, and it doesn't make them feel, stuck. Like, hey, can you do it at 3? And then they're like, no, I can't do it at 3. And then you're like, oh, okay, what about this time? So you might as well just give 2 times, because it makes it a lot easier and a lot more efficient. And the question, obviously, right now is no longer, can I come over? Because we're not doing things in person. The question is, would the second time be better than the first? The question is, would the second time be better than the first? So always offer those 2 times, because you never know. They may have a Zoom meeting up till 4, and they can't do it at 4, but they can do it at 4:30. So always offer those 2 times, and it just makes you sound a lot more confident whenever you offer those 2 specific times. All right, let's see. And here's a couple of just other extra tips before I wrap up. So be yourself. Don't sound like a telemarketer, And even if you are reading the approach, that's what you're supposed to be doing. If it sounds a little scripted, it's because it is. Like I said, scripture for the pros. Just be yourself. Don't sound like a telemarketer. And the more phone time you do, the better you'll sound. But that doesn't mean that you just make up stuff. That means practice it so many times that it just becomes natural, kind of like your favorite song. So you just do, the more phone time you do, the better you do. Makes it become more natural, just like your favorite song. So think of your favorite song, or think of your phone time like you think of your favorite song. Memorize it, get it down. Every riff, every rap solo, everything, every instrument, strum, anything. Get it down. Jay Brad, how am I doing on time? Should I wrap up?
Yeah, you can give another 60 to 90-second wrap up and it'll be good.
Okay.
And we'll talk about special ops.
All right, sounds good. And I'll just give you guys a couple of extra little nuggets. Have rapport, know a little bit about them. So always remember, like I said, qualifying your leads, always know if they're married, always know if they have kids, if they make the best blueberry pie recipe. Just ask those questions, get to know more about them. And there's two different things. When a friend that you don't know very well asks you to pick them up at the airport, you say that you're busy. But if one of your best friends asks you to, you don't even think about it twice. So be Mrs. Jones's friend, be that potential customer's new friend, because they're going to feel a lot more comfortable letting you into their home or through your Zoom and reading their credit card number through the phone whenever after you do the presentation. So know more about them, build that rapport, and just be natural on the phone. And the more phone time you do, the better you'll be. And just knock it out, crush it. Let's all go to Cabo. Let's all crush it the rest of this year. Let's all earn a President's Club letter. I'm really excited to see what you guys can do. You guys have been doing great things so far, and let's crush it and move back into 2021 like a champ.
All right, good work. Excellent stuff there. A lot of really good nuggets and really good tips. As you could see there, love that part about asking for 2 times. And did you catch the subtle difference, right? Because here's how a lot of reps will say it. So could I stop by at 6 o'clock or at 7:30? Okay. And that's still a yes or no question. You could say no to that, right? But if you just change the wording just this much and say, I have an opening at 6 o'clock or 7:30, which one of those times is better? Now, the only way they can answer is by saying one of those 2 times is better. So the way the question is asked makes a difference. And Madison pointed that out, but I don't know if, sometimes you might not be paying close enough attention to the subtle differences. And by the way, those subtle differences, they make definitely a difference.